Enough of that. Let's get into this video. What's going on, everybody? This is pretty much my first video, so welcome to my channel. My name is Anthony. I haven't made a channel name. I don't have any special name. I would like to think of one, so maybe after a while I can think of one, or you guys can give me an idea. So what I'm going to be doing on my channel is a little bit of gambling preview shows, going in depth of the spread, not in super depth, just kind of giving my opinions on who's going to cover the spread. And I got this idea from watching the Sims and Lefko podcast. I literally just watched an episode about 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago, and it was about the film breakdown for this past week, which is week 10 that they broke down, and their gambling preview show is tomorrow for week 11, which I'm going to be doing first, and then I'll see their show tomorrow, and I'll kind of look at where we're different and all that. I usually look at their shows insight, but I kind of want to do it myself more and see how I go against them. You know what I mean? In other words, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to probably be doing a fantasy show about football. Fantasy football, of course. A friend of mine might be doing it with me. Not sure if when we're gonna do it or how we're gonna do it, but I'm thinking if we do it, it's gonna be like one show a week, and we're gonna go in depth on since the season's almost over. Maybe you go depth on the playoffs, what players to pick up, defenses to stash, stuff like that. Go into matchups, recap the week. So a little bit of that, but it is a little late, and I know I missed out already on half the season, so I'm kind of behind, but I'm still going to do it anyways, because now I'll see how it goes, and then next season I'll get a fresh start and start from the beginning of the year. But enough of me blabbing, let's get into the video. Starting off the week, today is actually, I'm filming this Thursday. The Thursday night game starts in about 3 hours, so I'm doing this beforehand, and I'm going to be posting this tomorrow, so that way it's not like I just watch the game and I bet on it after and it just looks retarded. Let's get this started. So, first game of the week, we have Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle is favored by 3 points. They were opening as a 2.5 point favorite, and they jumped up a half a point on the spread. So looks from right here, I'm using the Action Network app, and it kind of gives you all the spreads. It tells you the over-under percentages of what people are going over or under, what people are going on which team. So for example, for this Seattle's one, 54% of the bets are on Seattle, 68% of the bets are on the over, which is a 49 point over-under, open at 49.5. So now it's time for me to do my job, right? Make my picks. So for this one, first looking at this game, I was like, this is a toss-up. Green Bay, Seattle, they're both kind of struggling teams, but they're also both kind of trying to find their way and trying to find they know their identity, but they're trying to get themselves out of the middle of the pack. Aaron Rodgers is carrying this team on his back. If they didn't have him, they'd probably be 0-8. I don't think any good of the Packers without him. The Seahawks, same thing. Without Russell Wilson, they are nothing. Yeah, I said that. But they have both those quarterbacks, so there's something. So, see, for Russell Wilson in primetime, I was looking up a little bit. I have a little sheet right here. Whatever. Russell Wilson in primetime is 19-6-2 against the spread. In primetime. At home, especially. That's really, really good. And Rodgers, on the other hand, is 26-21-1. Not good. And he's 5-9 as an underdog against the spread. That isn't good either. Seattle, from what we all know, is a heavy run-based team, and they're going to run that ball all game. They're going to run more than they throw it. That's just how they are. And Green Bay isn't a good rush defense. They give up 4.5 yards per carry. They rank 26, I believe, in the league. They're not a really good rush defense. Seahawks, their defense isn't amazing either. They're still going to give up big plays to Aaron Rodgers. You can't contain Aaron Rodgers. Nobody can. You just can't do it. So, that in mind, I'm going to lean with I almost said the Packers. The Seahawks here, -3. I'm going to take the Seahawks -3, and I'm going to put $100 on it. Good. And this is all fake money, guys. I'm not betting any of this. There's no way in hell I'd do this. It's just all for fun, trying to see where I'm at. I did it last week. It didn't work out well. I'm not even going to talk about that. But moving on to the next game. We got the Houston Texans at the Washington Redskins. Houston is favored by 3 points. 68% of the bets are on the Houston Rockets with an over/under of 42.5, and 53% are on the under. It was opened as a 43-point over/under. That's interesting. I could see that though, because Washington's got a really good defense this year. And as you can tell, I'm an Eagles fan. I don't like the Redskins. I don't even want to talk about the Eagles, but we're gonna have to go over that game. So yeah, so Washington is a really good defense. A lot of their games are going on the under from what I've noticed. I don't know the exact record, but I know that they're really a profitable under team. Houston's on a roll though. Houston's won 6 in a row. They're really killing it, and I think they're still doing good against the spread as well. But with all that said, I am still going to lean to the Houston Texans, minus 3 points. I'm only going to put $50 on this one. Well, now let's move on to the next one. So for some reason, the Bengals and Ravens here, it doesn't show the spread, or it just shows the percentage of bets on Baltimore. I was looking at another app. I also use Sportsbook AG, to find my spreads. And on there, it shows that Baltimore is favored by 4 points. I don't know the over/under, so I can't give you guys that. But 4 points at home against the Bengals. We all know the Bengals are a mess. Their defense is trash. Their offense is missing AJ Green, and it's not the same without him. Andy Dalton is hit or miss. And the Ravens, they have a good defense, but their offense hasn't been good because Joe Flacco. But Joe Flacco might not be playing this game. Might be Lamar Jackson or Robert Griffin III. And RG3, he's looked good in the preseason. I don't know if any of you noticed, but he looked pretty damn good. So with all that in mind, I'm going to put $50 again on the Baltimore Ravens, because I feel that the Baltimore Ravens have a better team. They have a better defense that can hold the Bengals offense. They can hold that Bengals offense, especially without AJ Green. I know the first time they played, the Bengals whooped at them. They were at home. And keep in mind, AJ Green had 3 touchdowns. So no AJ Green. Give me Baltimore. Moving on to the next game. We got Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. Whew. This is a game I'm really intrigued by. Ryder, shush. I'm doing something here, man. It's my dog, Ryder. So, 68% of the bets are on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're favored by 5.5. They were opened as a 6-point favorite, and they dropped a 0.5 point. And the over/under for this game is 47. That's pretty low, I think, with 54% on the over. I'd be on the over on this game, just saying, because Jacksonville's offense can still get off on this Pittsburgh defense, and Pittsburgh's offense, you can't control that. So, looking at this, I thought immediately about last year and how Jacksonville completely whooped on the Steelers every game they played them, playoffs and regular season. They knew they had their number, and they were a better team. But this is a new year. This Jacksonville Jaguars team is not the same. Their defense isn't what it used to be. They used to be a defense that could shut down an opposing team, and they would win games. Keep this in mind. This is the biggest thing I've noticed. Jacksonville would win games off their defense last year. They would win turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, anything. They'd win with turnovers to score touchdowns at the end of the game. Their defense carried them to win the games. Not Blake Bortles. He did somewhat, but he's not that good. I listen to Sims and Lefkoe. I know Blake Bortles is, I don't know where he ranks him. Remember last time he said 70. I agree with everything he says about Blake Bortles. He's not good. But Blake Bortles, Ben Roethlisberger. Jags D, that's regressed completely. They were at an enormous rate of doing that last year. Pittsburgh's defense is starting to come on more. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to put actually $100 on the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Minus 5.5. You know, I'm actually making up all the money I'm putting on each team on the spot right now because I just didn't do this beforehand. 100 there, so we got 200 right now. All right. So we still got $1,300 left in our budget. There's a few games where I'm putting most of this money on. All right. Moving on. Next game we got on slate is Carolina-Detroit. Carolina is favored by 4.5 points going into this one. They opened as a 3-point favorite and they jumped up to 4.5. 80% of the bets are on Carolina, with the over-under of about 49.5, opened as 50.5 over-under. So that jumped a whole point. Sheesh. Don't like this game at all. Obviously, all the money's on Carolina. 80% of the bets. But I don't like this. I'm putting $50 on this game too. I'm going Detroit plus 4.5. I know they have not been good, but they're at home. I think they're on the road these last 2 games. Let me look. Yep, they were in Chicago and in Minnesota. They're at home now. Get themselves into gear. They might still lose this game, to be honest. I think they're still going to lose, but I just don't see them being beat by more than 4.5 points. So I'm going to put $50 on the Detroit Lions plus 4.5. This game we have, the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. You already know why I hesitated to talk about that right there, because of what happened last Sunday night. I don't want to relive that moment. Ugh. This game's over-under is at 48.5. It opened as a 47.5 point over-under. It's jumped up a half point. Jumped up a whole point, I mean. 91% of the bets are on the over. Then we have Atlanta favored by 3. 55% of the bets are on Dallas. Looking at that immediately, I gotta take my bias out of this. I gotta be real. Cowboys aren't good on the road, though. I know they just beat the Eagles. I know, but we're not the same team as last year. We were the Super Bowl champs. We are not the Super Bowl champs this year. We are not going to win this year. Maybe we'll make the playoffs because our division's bad, but I don't know. Okay, let's stop talking about the Eagles. So, Atlanta's defense isn't good, though. As bad as the Cowboys' offense is, I just think that they're going to be able to get off on this Falcons D. And I hate doing this, but I'm going to put $100 on the Dallas Cowboys plus 3. At first I was actually going to put my money on the Falcons, but then I really thought about it. It's like, come on now. The Falcons are not that good team. I know they're at home, though. No, just moving on to the next game. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored by 1 point. Wow, it's almost a pick'em now. It was -3. 59% of the bets are on Tennessee, and the over-under is at 49. It opened as a 48-point over-under. 76% of the bets are on the over. For this one, I'm looking at it as the Titans are on a roll. They just beat New England. At home, obviously, they were at home, not New England. And they put a beat down on them. Mike Vrabel was an ex-player for the Patriots, so he does know that organization. He does know what they like to do. He does know some of their tendencies, probably. That kind of helped. I mean, Matt Patricia beat them, and I think Josh McDaniels beat them way back in the day. I remember Simpson talking about that. But, yeah, so Titans have a good D. Colts, not so good of a defense. Blake Bortles just got off on them. And I know the Colts are at home. I'm going to put $50 on the Indianapolis Colts. And now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Giants. Tampa Bay is they're underdogs by 0.5 point, so Giants are favored by 1.5 points. The over-under is 52, and 59% of the bets are on the New York Giants. 67% of the bets are on the under. I agree with that under. I remember last time they had this fucking 52-point spread over-under, and it was against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night, and I went with I didn't go with the under or the over, but I wanted to go with the over, and my friend was like, "You really think Eli Manning is going to be able to do that?" Then I thought about it, I was like, probably not, and I just didn't do it, and I wish I did, because I bet on Atlanta, and they got screwed by a fucking 2-point conversion from the Giants when it was pointless, and they were going to lose anyways. I'm going to roll with the New York Giants here. I'm going to put $100 on the New York Giants, -1.5. So right now, we're at $500. We have $1,000 left, so you guys are probably wondering, where's all this big money going? It's coming up very soon. Oh, next game we got is the Oakland Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh, well, let's talk a little bit about this. No, not really. This is disgusting. Oakland Raiders, we all know what they are. They're a rebuilding team. They're not good. They've traded away all their talent. John Gruden's team doesn't even believe in themselves. There was a report that some veteran was saying to another player on the Raiders that he needs to get the fuck up out of there. So, I mean, that's obviously not good news for your locker room. The chemistry, there's none. People are, it's just an ugly situation. And the Arizona Cardinals, they're an ascending, not really. They're still rebuilding as well. Josh Rosen's is not great. He's a decent quarterback. He's still a rookie, so he's gonna have time to grow into that. 68% of the bets are on Arizona, and it's a 40.5 point over/under. 57% are on the over. I might take the over on this too. I get it. Oakland can't score, but Arizona's defense isn't that good. Arizona's gonna be able to score a lot. And it's not a division game like last week with the Chargers. That's why it was so low scoring, I think that's a little low. 40 is a low number. They only need 20 points. Arizona can easily score 27, and Raiders can score like 17. I think that's be over, right? Yeah, it's over. So I'm going to pick the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to put $100 on the Arizona Cardinals. Raiders are not a good team this year. Everyone knows that. I'm going to bet against them every week. Moving on, we got the Denver Broncos against the Los Angeles Chargers. So, first looking at this, I was like, that's a good matchup. San Diego's favored by 7 points. I know they're at home, but they don't really have a home. This is something new. They're the first team to play all season on the road. They don't have a home. There's no home field advantage for the Chargers. So it opened as a 7.5 point. 72% of the bets are on the Chargers. I am going to put my money on the Denver Broncos. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. I'm going to put $50 on the Denver Broncos here. Moving on. We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints. This is the one I'm not looking forward to. Well, 61% of the bets are on the Saints. But the smart money's going on the Eagles, I think, because it dropped half a point. And you know when that happens, that's what it is. So it opened as a 9-point spread, and now it's down to 8.5. Whew, it's a lot of points. I know my team just got their butts whooped by the Cowboys. I get it. It was only 27-20. We got our asses whooped, man. We did not come to play. It was an awful game. Our offense didn't execute the first half. Well, the defense did. The defense didn't execute in the second half. That's also because we lost Ronald Darby. He's out for the year with a torn ACL. Even worse now, our secondary is going to be. And our offense did. It was just a tale of two halves. We weren't fully there. And we're not the same team as last year. We're not. And if anyone wants to say Nick Foles should start, you need to just look at yourself in the mirror real good. Carson Wentz is the quarterback for the Eagles for the next 10 to 15 years. There is no argument. He is putting up numbers. I get it. They're not translating all to wins, but it's a team game, right? Look at last year when they were all playing right. They were 11-1 or 11-2 with Wentz playing. And he is the only reason they had home field advantage. There was some games Wentz had to pull through at the end. It had to be him. But he still had that defense to rely on. This year he doesn't. It's not the same team. And the over-under on this game is 56 points. It was at 54.5, and 84% are on the over. I'm on the over as well. I really don't see it being a low-scoring game. I think our offense is going to be able to score points on this Saints secondary. They're not that good. I know they have a good run game, but we will run the ball, but we're obviously going to live with Carson Wentz. The Saints they're on fire. They're a freaking awesome team. They just demolished the Cincinnati Bengals, but we are a better team than Cincinnati Bengals. The Eagles, we are a better team than them. But I'm still going to roll with my team. 8.5 points, I don't think we're going to win this game. I'll be honest with you guys now. I don't think we're going to win this game. But 8.5 points is a lot to give up in what I think could be a close game, kind of a shootout, because we do have Carson Wentz. People are forgetting that, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and put $150 on my Eagles plus 8.5, leaving me at $800. That means my last two bets. That's where all my money is. Let's see where I put most of my money on. So next up, we got the Sunday night game. It's the Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears. Chicago is favored by 2.5 points in this one, with an over/under of 44.5. It was at 45.5, but 56% are going on the under. I can see that. Those are some good defenses there. Could very much see that, but I don't want to touch that over/under. Not this one. 63% of the bets are on the Vikings plus 2.5. So looking at this one, division game, another one I was just talking about before. Division games getting kept close, but that was 7 points. This isn't 7 points. I kind of leaked my bet. I'm first looking at this. This is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a great game to watch. I'm very excited to watch this game. I think it's going to be awesome. But Chicago is a great team at home. Against the spread, they have been great. The Bears, they played the Lions. They covered by more than 7. I know it was a division game. I'm kind of contradicting myself with that Broncos one, but whatever. The Jets, they covered by 8 points at home. They covered by 10 points against the Bills, but that's the Bills. We don't know what the Bills are. They've been on a 3-game win streak against the spread. Vikings, they're doing better. They're getting there. They're a great team too. I think they're flying under the radar now because they came off to such a slow start with such high expectations. Now people are kind of writing them off, thinking about the Rams, obviously Chiefs, Saints, Patriots, Steelers, all those good teams. But in this one, I really think Chicago at home, Kirk Cousins, primetime, I think he's not that good. I played against him in the NFC East. I know we beat him on some Monday night games sometimes. I don't know his exact record like Russell Wilson's I did earlier, but I don't think he'll be able to do good against the Chicago front seven, especially Khalil Mack back. Khalil Mack is healthy again. As you can see last week, there's a clip of him mauling one of the Lions' offensive linemen and just destroying him and then getting to Stafford. But that's the Lions' offensive line, which isn't good. And I know the Vikings' offensive line wasn't good last year, and I know it's getting better this year, so they might be able to hold it, but I still think they're going to give up some sacks. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears here, minus 2.5. And I'm going to put 200 and... No. Am I going to put that much? I'm going to put $300 on the Chicago Bears. They're now at $1,100. Now we're on to our last game. And as you could tell by where all my bets are going, all my money is about to go on this game. $400 is left. $1,500 budget. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams. This game was moved from Mexico City. It is now in LA. The field looked horrible. Players were threatening to sit. I totally agree with that. I don't think any player should be playing on that kind of ground. That's just my opinion on the fact of that. So this game is Los Angeles. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points with an over/under of 63.5. 85% of the bets are on KC right now. Rams opened up as a 1-point favorite, and they're sticking at 3.5. 56% of the bets are on the under. I'm going over. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be like 38-35. And I'm going to pick the Chiefs. Not to win, but to cover. 38-35 Rams, I'm going. But I'm picking the Chiefs plus 3.5 here. I kind of leaked it talking early, but whatever. I'm picking the Chiefs plus 3.5, and I'm putting $400 on the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think we're ever going to get a game this year where the Chiefs are underdogs again, especially by 3.5 points. I don't think so. I just don't see it. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to put $400 on the Kansas City Chiefs here to close out the show. Well guys, that's it for my betting gambling show today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to probably do this again next week. I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of the season. And hopefully get better at doing this. This is like my first actual video I've posted doing this. I know I probably jumped the gun on some stuff or whatever. Bear with me, I am learning here. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, so we're on this journey together. Whoever decides to come and follow me and listen to my advice, or just simply come here to listen to the show. In other words, that was it, but thanks guys for tuning in. Whoever watches, I don't know how many people will watch it. I really don't care. I'm just doing this for myself because I really want to do this. So, thanks for watching. See you next week. Let's see how my bets go. We'll recap my bets from this week and we'll go and see where I went wrong and see how much money I lost and how much money I won. Hopefully I win this week. I know last week I didn't do too good, but that doesn't matter. We didn't film that. Let's get it going. Let's have a great week, guys. Good luck with all your bets out there and go Eagles. So, one thing I forgot to tell you guys, I do have locks of the week. I'm kind of copying Lefko. Sorry, bro, but it's all love. I really appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are awesome. But I'm picking 4 teams that I'm locking this week. And I'll tell you right now. I'm locking the Chicago Bears -2.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm locking the Kansas City Chiefs +3.5 against the Los Angeles Rams. I'm locking the Seattle Seahawks -3 at home against the Packers. And here's my other one. Honestly, I don't know the other one. I'm going to just pick it on the spot right now. I'm going to go with the Colts -1. Colts -1 against the Tennessee Titans. Those are my locks of the week, guys. Stay tuned for next week.